So I wonder if it's... I haven't seen, honestly, too much Underlord lately. He seems like he'd be relatively decent right now with how things are going. Like a front line, builds utility, is can kind of group up. And I also think Underlord and Prophet's value has been increased drastically. Also Chen as well, because of how the Boots of Travel got nerfed. So I think heroes that had a built-in kind of global mobility is incredibly important. As we're going to see Vici, they'll go for the Legion here. So Legion's another really good way to deal with the Bristleback. Do you already see they've done 3 of the picks right now have been to counter the Bristle. The Lich, which was actually picked before the Bristleback. You've got the Nyx and the Legion. The reason why Lich and Legion are good, because the Sinister's Gaze, it'll turn the Bristleback around and he faces you. I don't know what just happened there. What? Alright. I hope we get back in. Yeah, okay, I have no idea what just happened. I didn't hit anything, but oh goodness, stress. Like I was saying, the Lich and the Legion, the reason why they're good is because they'll turn the Bristle and make him face you. So even though kind of Legion in that matchup is kind of struggle, as soon as he hits the level 6 he's good, and the Nyx Assassin with the break is really strong in this matchup. You do see though, PSG.LGD, they're going to go for an Ursa here, so their lanes are incredibly strong. I mean, Bristle, Coddle, whether you even want to put a Bristle with the Rubik and then Ursa, Coddle, depending. They can even put the Ursa mid versus the Ember. The one thing I'm worried about is that Ursa might get kited a little bit. Like the Ember chains, the Lich slows, Nyx is annoying to kind of play into. Like catching a Legion isn't the easiest as well. But I do believe PSG.LGD, they played the Ursa last night if I remember correctly. I believe Chalice absolutely took over a game with this Ursa, so it's a hero that we haven't seen too much, but I think the one thing I'm worried about for PSG.LGD is they don't take objectives too well. Like the Ursa, I guess Bristle can kind of frontline, but it's nothing like a Morphling or a Jug, and even the Storm doesn't really provide that as well. So, but okay. So this is going to reveal where they want to play. If they want to put the Ember in the middle of the safe lane. I mean, I think that the matchup it's relatively even. It's not too one-sided. It's nice versus a melee hero for the Storm. Instantly when I think of kind of counters to the Storm, it's like the Puck or the Dragon Knight. The DK's banned out, but it's just some form of catch, which is nice. I mean, it's going to be hard for the Lich to be able to jump the Storm. The Nyx is decent. It's not the greatest Storm. Like, it by far is not a free Storm game, but I think the value gets increased because you're playing with a Coddle. A hero that's just going to give you so much mana back, I think is incredibly important for the Storm Spirit as this game transitions. And PSG.LGD, they have shown flexibility to be able to put the Storm in the safe lane. I know Chalice has played this a couple of times as well, so it will be Somnus playing it, but I think they... You know, depending on that Vici matchup, they could have flexed it around. I didn't think they were going to, but it's always nice being able to offer some form of flexibility. And we're going to see Vici, they'll pick up the troll here for Eurus. So, again, well, if you get on the Storm, he's just dead. You need one stun pretty much, and then Eurus, whether you want to go Diffusal Blade potentially, might have to, because I think PSG.LGD with the Ursa and the Bristleback are going to make a lot of chaos across the map. Like, their lanes are super strong. I want to see how they lane if it's going to be FY with the Ursa, because I'm pretty sure you want to put the Coddle with the Bristleback for the laning stage at least, but I feel like Troll's going to struggle versus Bristleback in the lane. Game counters, I think they deal really well with the Bristle, but I think the lane is the question. Like, are they going to try lane with this? Because I think PSG.LGD's lane setup is very strong right now. That's the one thing I'm going off, is that they have kind of two heroes like the Ursa and the Bristle that can make a lot of space for the Storm to come online, and then they don't have the greatest amount of catch for the Storm. Like, you play so far in the backline that it's very difficult to find the initiation on Storm before he gets to the support. So Legion's not a reliable way to catch him. Lich pretty much dies before he can get the Sinister's Gaze off. again, it always comes down to the lanes. Like, who are you going to favor here? Depending on this matchup. I do want to see how they
prepare for battle.
How they set up the lanes here, depending on so it looks like Chalice is gonna he's gonna run top. I mean, I've seen this a couple times though, that both the cores just run top and they try and see the matchup, which core is playing this lane, and then they'll adjust in that regard. Xnova run up the high ground here, gets a little couple love taps. He actually might be able to bait. Let's see, what do they got? I mean, you really don't want to level telekinesis, and he's kind of already blinding lighted. I don't think they find a kill. They're just gonna have to protect Xnova. Although I say that, but there are 5 heroes of PSG.LGD in the area, but they gotta go now. Looks like with the Fable damage reduction, Chalice even gonna go for the slow to help keep Xnova alive, and now with the cell of DY has committed a little bit too far, so Xnova, a nice little bait there, almost drops. Somnus able to get the first blood as well. I say I didn't think they were going to be able to find the kill. I thought as soon as Radiant showed, Vici would have just backed up there, but they overcommitted a little bit too much with the Fable damage reduction. Very clutch there for FY. A little bit of damage that they were needing. Xnova does use the cell, but I'd say you're pretty happy with this considering Somnus gets first blood. Already has the cell picked up, and they should be able to secure at least 2 bounties. Depending, it looks like at the moment Chalice isn't even going to try and contest this, so they will hold that lane matchup, just the default. Oh, FY. Alright, they're going to find 3 actually from Vici. Nicely done from PYW. Just runs through, snags the bounty. What are they doing here? They're just going to try and get the lane matchup that they want. Yeah, Chalice going to run top. They haven't seen anyone. Looks like FY... Okay, FY sees Eurus. Let's see how they... Yeah, so they do want to keep the Bristle back in this matchup. A lot of time when it's lane dependent, I see a lot of teams put wards kind of on the backline here around this higher ground. It's a, opposite for Radiant on this one, or even kind of in these vicinities here. It's really nice just to be able to scout out. Oh, that was a really bad... Yeah, you get the point. It's really nice to be able to scout out early on where the lane setup is. Now FY is going to have to TP out with a stun on cooldown. We'll be fine. Has he got a self? He's got a bunch of tangos, so he'll be fine here in this matchup. But you take a look. The Bristleback is a hero that I said they counter him in the game. It's just dependent on how well they can counter him in the lane as well. I really thought they were going to try and put the Cuddle with him. It looks like instead Xnova is going to play around with the Legion Commander down bot, who unfortunately will use the Courier. But in the meantime, FY though, he just TP'd to try and prevent them from finding the kill beforehand, and he's still going to end up dying anyway. So that's going to be a long walk back to the lane for the Rubik. And so let's see, Yang's done a really good job. The creep wave is going to get shoved back out here. Because his creep wave went underneath the tower, Radiant already know they've got to put pressure on. They're going to lose creep equally even if they can find this kill, so he doesn't get as much of the experience at the moment. But so much pressure. I mean, it looks like PYW just finds a kill and he's going to rotate down bot, try and help out Yang, who's in trouble. Chalice being able to find the last little bit of damage coming through from the Earth Shock. Nicely done. I've kind of been seeing a different build in the Ursa lately. It seems like they've been going like the 404 maxed out. Like, it just feels like Overpower has been getting nerfed like constantly. The attack keeps getting reduced. The cooldown, mana cost did get reduced slightly. But it does feel like that just Urshock's kind of been buffed a little bit, and Overpower's been nerfed, and then teams are just, well, at least Ursa players have just been putting a couple more points into the queue instead. So, and also I've kind of seen the treads as well, so it's going to be interesting to see how he does itemize and kind of skill build here as this matchup. Somnus versus Ori. It should be relatively even for both these players here. I think there's a lot more matchups now. I think you need to hit that. Oh, we got it. Wow. Okay, nicely done. I think there's a lot more matchups now that isn't as, like, beforehand it was kind of dependent on maybe there's a support that rotates, or maybe you get like a lucky power rune at the 2-minute mark, like maybe a DD or regen. Now there's just less kind of the unknown. Like, you don't have to not rely, but worry about that RNG coming through of the power rune and being able to kind of just win that lane. I think is really, really cool for the mid lane matchups. It's a lot more, I think, skill based now. You know, we're seeing some of these matchups kind of just trade out. And I'd much rather this mid lane matchup as we actually old 11. Doesn't have a whole lot of mana. He does have a mango actually to play around with. Wants to dive DY here. Does able to pop the self, so they'll turn on. They trade the kill, but you're relatively happy with the Bristle dying there. And in the meantime, Chalice down. But Yang has a wand up, and it should be enough for the overwhelming odds. Just is the damage enough to find the kill? Looks like it's not. So instead, Yang, he's going to cut the wave here, but they do a really good job of being able to force back Chalice. Is he even gonna... He's kind of already close back to the base here, and now with the rotation coming through mid, they don't need any help bot, so this enables PYW to make the rotation mid along with his fellow support in DY. They've got a regen afterwards as well, so we brought up the... Oh, he missed the CS. We brought up the regen or like the DD value at the level... sorry, at the 2 minute mark, and instead he's going to get it at the 4 as well, so... Nice couple of things coming through, especially when they find that kill as well. I mean, this... The one thing I'm like, if PSG.LGD lose their lanes pretty heavily, like the Ursa Bristle is what I imagine would have a relatively good time. Like these are strong laning heroes, and you're also Bristles with a Rubik as well. So though I'm slightly worried that if they do kind of fall behind, then these are, I feels like they're really greedy cores in a way that they don't play well from behind. Like Bristle's probably going to need to take some stacks, whether that's the Ancients. I guess no one on Radiant do really farm the Ancients, so you might be okay with this. But it's more like Ursa's not a hero that's able to catch up well in the jungle. You know, Storm is going to need to utilize this because Storm's not really a hero that makes a whole lot of plays early on. Like it kind of depends on if the enemy team has a lot of lockdown or not. Cuddle. Get found out in the river here. Ori still doesn't have the level 6, so won't be able to jump onto the Keeper of the Light. Slight still on cooldown as well, so it looks like X-Nova will be able to stay alive there. Yeah, it is very situational on how Storms play. Like you can, I've definitely seen some Storms like being the playmaker if you don't have the lineup that's able to and you need to fill that role. Whereas sometimes, you know, Storms are just kind of utilizing, just farming up, using the space that the team is making for them, and they're just trying to work towards the early Bloodstoners. We're seeing Yang. He's got 2 points up in the moment of courage, so should be able to make this rotation. Somnus needs to make sure he holds his stun so Yang just can't TP out instantly, and once the Legion Commander falls low enough, he will be able to use this. Very nicely done. That's a nice rotation. You see he already shoved out the lane. He's going to miss a range creep though, which are a little awkward. Potentially the catapult too, which is a lot of experience in gold you don't want to be missing, but you're happy with that. You find the kill on the Legion, who was getting a lot out of that lane matchup, and Ori, he should be able to find a solo kill as well. He's still got a haste, so he can help out top. DY is actually stuck on the higher ground, but it looks like it's not going to matter with Ori wrapping around T. It's going to be a difficult kill onto the Bristleback, so Ori instead do a quick drive-by, say hello, say goodbye. I really like what they're doing though, like the fact that I think it's kind of better if the support was mid instead of Yang, but he just died. You know, he's going to soak up a little bit of experience and probably go back to cut the lane. He does have the 6, so it looks like they're going to try and bait Somnus here potentially. But Somnus is well aware. He doesn't have a... yeah, he doesn't have a ward. I thought he might on the higher ground. You see, good teams are very, very strong at being able to... They communicate kind of when they want to make a movement. You know, Ori was... He was like, I have a haste, I'm going to try and pressure top. So in the back of each gaming's mind, the bottom lane needs to be aware, or whoever's not helping out of that top side engagement, one person needs to come mid. We see supports always do this. If you're able to communicate properly with the team, one person always should be soaking up what little experience they can get mid. You know, being able to hit these level timings, especially now, you know, with, you know, it's been a while where it's only just been one tome in that 10-minute mark, but, you know, we see a lot more now supports at the early stages, stacking, pulling, giving core solo experience, because they will be able to make up with this from the side lanes or the mid lane that it is free for them to get a little bit of farm for themselves. Always got to help out our fellow supports whenever we can here. Somnus, he's got a decent chunk of mana. We'll be able to steal the arcane, but he might be in trouble here, however. So off to the side, he does use a lot of regen to be able to get over towards the arcane room, but now X-Nova, looks like with the blinding light, Yang won't be able to get in range. So we got a very even in the kill count. Vici Gaming a minimal net worth lead at the moment. I mean, I'd say this favors Vici, honestly. I kind of like the lineup. Like, I think if Troll's a hero that if you catch Somnus once and you allow Troll to be able to stack up the fervor, he's going to find the kills. And they have the game counters also to the bristleback, which I think is incredibly important. And it looks like Eurus is going to go for the Maelstrom. So this is... it seems like Troll is just one of the few melee heroes that still likes to build the Maelstrom, just because you're someone who is able to get a lot of procs coming through with the high attack speed. Might have a little bit of engagement early on down bottom here. PYW is going to be able to find the cuddle. This is a nice target to bring down with the chakra. It's a lot of the regen damage coming through, especially if the bristlebacks are in the area. DY will end up falling. Chalice already pops the ultimate, so he won't have this to try and stay alive here. Attempts to output as much damage as possible before the death, but now with Eurus, the Troll World's rotation, they find the stun first to allow Eurus to get on top of the storm. Will be a 3 for 2. In the meantime, Bristleback did not join that engagement there. Incredibly important to bring down the Cuddle first. I mean, just the survivability that Cuddle was able to dish out with that blinding light. I mean, the 70% invasion for 4 seconds is a lot. It's not only that though, but it's just kind of increasing the damage or survivability, whatever you want to call it. Just giving Storm more mana pool. Maybe if Bristle is there, refreshing the quills. So I really like that, the fact that Coddle, they capitalized instantly. As soon as X-Nova stepped out of position, they jumped him straight away. A really, really good job coming through from Dyer there. What do we got so far? Actually, might be another engagement here. Chalice able to find Yang. So hasn't been able to secure that first duel victory just yet for the Legion Commander, but they're going to wrap around. Once again, Ori has a haste to find the chains onto the Keeper of the Light here, but it's a little bit scary diving. They're going to wait till the creeps come so they can take up the tower. Chalice instantly going to try and deal with that straight away. They're going to be able to cut down the trees, though. Ori haste is about to wear off. They're going to be... The rest of... It looks like PSG.LGD. They're going to try and show up to the fight here, but looks like one cancels the TP, actually. PYW taking an immense amount of damage here. Somnus going to be able to claim the kill, and now with the forward Vortex as well. Drags back the Ember. Didn't have any more remnants to play around with, so couldn't disengage and dove a little bit too far there. And LGD, they made them pay. And now they were still able to keep hold of their catapult. So really nicely done from them. I love what they did. They just burrow themselves, deep inside the tower line. And you see straight away Chalice as well. Like, he just went to right-clicking those creeps. Knew that they were going to dive with this full creep wave. So if he could try and kill them as fast as possible and get the towers actually aggroing onto the heroes, potentially could have been enough damage to be able to secure that kill. So second, where is it? Yeah. Chalice, let's see, he's gonna go Vanguard, it looks like. It's relative, I mean, the Troll, the Legion. Interesting Vanguard build though. Wouldn't expect it too much from the Ursa. Usually go a lot more aggro or just into like the BKB pretty early here. But another Will-O-Wisp. It's a nice ultimate. It's enough protection to help out Chalice. However, Ori's going to be able to get out of the white hole bubble. Looks like Chalice still in the trees here. PYW is going to be able to find this stun. Earthshock's up in a couple of seconds here, but it's not going to matter. They will find the kill. And now here comes a wraparound. However, it's just FY with a quick Sinister's Gaze. Stops Aerobic from being able to dish out any abilities straight away. But looks like Vici Gaming, they just want to go back to the objectives. Somnus, he's going to try and at least find a kill across the map, however. Yang is in a little bit of trouble here. Can't get the press the attack fast enough. They do know that the Storm Spirit can't really TP top, though. Used a lot of mana to find this kill, so they're going to be successful at being able to dive FY here. Very nicely done. Storm's TP was on cooldown anyway, so I don't know if they had a good... I'm not sure if they already saw that. But they definitely knew that Storm, even if he does TP top, he utilized a lot of the mana to try and find the kill on the Legion. So very nicely done from Vici Gaming. Another kill for them. And in the meantime as well, I mean, Eurus has been free farming. Top of the net worth, Maelstrom completed. Just had it finished. Already 800 gold. Eurus is going to flash farm if they give him the space. You see, they're also making a couple stacks for him as well. Things are looking good for the troll. He's going to go the second item, BKB. So still Radiant have a relatively early timing where they can kind of... I think Roche is really important for them. Any Ursa lineup is very, very reliant on being able to take that first Aegis and then kind of snowball it from there, just finding kills after kills, and then with this kill advantage, taking objectives. That is the one thing I am worried about for LGD though, is that they struggle with finding towers. You're going to have the Bristle who's super tanky, but the Ursa's never really well known to be able to take objectives, neither is the Storm. So we might see Chalice have to like utilize like a Desolator to give him the minus armor to help out there. The question is though, like, who do you give the Aegis to? Because Storm, I think personally, is the best Aegis carrier in the game, but then you really want to give it to the Ursa. No. PYW. Just snag it. I like what Somnus did there as well. He made sure he didn't zip on top of the bounty. Oh, sorry, not the bounty, the rune, in case of Carapace.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Dire, they are going to smoke up. They do need to try and find some dual kills on top of Yank, but it looks like with the mango tree drop, they want to put a lot of pressure mid in the meantime. Fast enough, however, Old 11. He does have some movements in the backline here. Is it enough to be able to keep him alive? However, the Will-O-Wisp drop, Eurus won't be able to get enough right click coming through now. Chalice with the TP rotation as well, straight on top of the backline here. Ori has to pop a couple remnants to try and disengage, and now Yang attempts for the duel but won't be successful. They're not done just yet. However, Somnus still alongside forward. Chalice going to be able to close the distance on PYW, so PSG.LGD, they'll find 3 kills right next to a tier 1 tower as well. Beautifully done. You see the attempt, but the issue is that Old 11 already has Vanguard Hood, and Legion doesn't have any dual damage, so it was a very ballsy attempt to try and dive this hero, but Radiant were aware of this. Coddle, perfect positioning, dropping the ultimate straight on top of the Bristle. Maybe they find that kill if the troll is there outputting enough of the damage. They haven't gone Spirit Vessel at all as well. I thought the Nyx might potentially go for this item. It looks like that is not the case though. He's going to go the Meteor Hammer instead. Just a more catch, I think, to help control the Storm is important. It's also kind of annoying versus the Ursa. It does, I mean, if he gets the status resistance off, then that's another question. But yeah, really nice job. Honestly, the ultimates from Coddle has been pretty on point. X-Nova's played a really good Coddle game so far. Got caught out a couple times, you know, more in particular that bottom engagement, but a beautiful spot for him to be. And that's pretty much where I think Coddle has to play. I think you should be either bot or mid. The fact that Radiant still haven't lost their tier 1 tower just yet, and they have a 2 tower advantage, I think really going to give them a lot of space to make movements across the map. It's the fact that now Dire, like, oh, hang on a second, Old 11 again. I mean, look at X-Nova's positioning right where the Bristleback is. This is so difficult to be able to find the kill. I mean, they try and lead with the break, but now it's about to wear off on the Bristleback, so this kill gets even harder. And Old 11, he honestly seems unkillable right now. He might just turn on PYW, stacking up the goo with all the minus armor. He's going to be careful here. They'll even be able to refresh it with the Chakra. Dire just sitting and watching on the backline. They're going to have to do something incredibly fast as well. Old 11 finds a duel, but X-Nova is still in the right space at the right time. He is able to drop the Will-O-Wisp. They'll find the stun, the Chain Force follow up as well, but look at the White Hole go. And now Chalice onto the backline finds a Lich. They do lose the Bristleback though. He's felt pretty much unkillable this entire game, but he's going to finally pay the price. Now we'll Eurus, there we go, trying to help out on the backline. Somnus with his it forward. Will it clean up PYW, but the issue is, where's the protection coming through for the Ursa? There just isn't anything now. They dropped the White Hole, and now with the Bristleback down, fortunately, oh, they might still try and fight here. You do see Somnus. It's maxed out Chakra. There's got about half mana to play around with, but it looks like they're pretty content with just backing off. They've held this tower for long enough. Although Bristle's up in 6 seconds here. Oh, Yang. Duel's going to be available soon as well. Nice chains onto 2. They need to find a duel victory. No, FY still Remnant. Ah, no damage. No damage. That sucks. You do see Radiant. They actually thought they could have defended that there, which I don't disagree. Because the Bristle was going to be up in a couple of seconds. I don't believe they had Glyph though. It's now back up because the tier 1 does fall, of course. But I mean, you see how long Bristle is taking to kill though. Like he is causing he's pretty much like a black hole in himself. Like he's just a vortex. He's dragging Vici Gaming on top of the bristleback, and it's just kind of allowing the Ursa to wrap around, find the supports, the Storm to have a free zip in on a different angle. It's really nice how Old11's been able to play. You know, that was his second death for him, but incredibly farm, and he's going to continue being this kind of big nuisance that Vici can they deal with. That's the question. You know, would have loved for Eurus to go with Diffusal Blade this game, especially if you lock down. I mean, Bristleback and Ursa, they don't have the biggest mana pool, very reliant on their abilities as well. Storm's another one, which I think Diffusal Blade's incredibly strong against, but they're going to make sure they do something here. I mean, if you give away Roche, this could just be the opening that LGD needs to be able to take this game. And they will smoke up. Vendetta, X-Nova. Smoke's gonna pop here, so he's well aware something's happening, but Roche is about to fall. Looks like Somnus, he will find the Aegis. So we brought up earlier the kind of the question if the Ursa or the Storm was the one to be able to take the Aegis, who was going to want it. Of course, that's all dependent on if they actually get an opportunity where it's not contested. So looks like Storm's gonna claim it. He's got Bloodstone now as well. This is the one big thing that I think Storm's right now, I'm like 50-50 on the hero. I think you play a little bit too slow. We actually see Somnus is grouped up in a lot more of these fights, which I like how Somnus has been able to play. I think this is because of the Coddle though. We see Coddle's playing a lot more kind of with the Bristleback. You're very close to the vicinity of Old11 right now, but throughout the fights, like Storm is still getting the buffer from that chakra mana, which I think is really important to enable the Storm to be able to take fights and still go back and farm as well. You know, it's very similar where we see Storms kind of drafted when you have like a Crystal Maiden for that aura. But usually right now, it feels like Storm, if you get Bloodstone and Aegis with that timing, it just feels so nice, because Bloodstone is a very big momentum based item here. You can just snowball this game into, like, literally you can just take over the game. But now in the meantime, mid lane, however, will drop the Will-O-Wisp. Now with the Yules have to follow up as well, and but can he disengage fast enough? They're going to be able to set up the Yules so they get the next tick of the ultimate. Now it looks like down bottom, however, the Bristleback, is he going to end up falling to the Julies? No, Old11 just way too taking up with the rotation coming through with the long team forward. So I'm just going to get straight on top of the Nyx Assassin here. He's able to bring him down. Juris pops a BKB. He's going to try and TP out under the cover of this. He will be successful, but the next target is Yang. You see the increased mana pool right now from Somnus. There's just nothing they can do. Stacking up the Bloodstone charges, give him some more mana as well. Now with the drag back, a fourth death for Vici Gaming. They couldn't get mid fast enough. Looks like they were wrapping around, baiting out Ori mid on the Ember, but unfortunately, I don't know whose yours it is. It's Rubik's. That is an awesome yours pickup. Really good against the Troll, the Legion as well, but I think that what it did there, we saw X-Nova drop the Will-O-Wisp. After that first tick, he then Yule stepped it up, so as soon as he dropped, they got another tick of the Ignis as well. Really nice chain control, so the Ember could not disengage there. Vici Gaming, they felt like they had to make a play out of it, so instead they went on to the Bristle, but was not able to kill him. And now it's a 6,000 net worth lead all of a sudden. Storm Spirit has 18 Bloodstone charges, 1,900 gold in the bank, and looks like LGD roaring up to make another movement here with this smoke. They will have Will-O-Wisp up in 25 seconds here. They don't have very good vision throughout the dire top jungle. And I also see Old11 farming pretty aggressively here, but it looks like the target is going to be the Troll Warlord on the backline. It's only DY, not enough to be able to keep Eurus alive. That's a 6 kill streak as well, and our Somnus also has a regen for good measure. This, I mean, here we go, 19 Bloodstones charges. Somnus is going to take over this game. First tier 2 of the game is going to end up dropping, you see. Looks like Ori did I mean, he has shoved out top, but... So what's the question here? For Radiant, I would imagine they go top and try and get this lane shoved out, get vision in the dire jungle and take the tier 2 top. Because bots are a lot more difficult to be able to take. Who's got the... Okay, FY's got it. That's going to be a lot of damage as well. 4 points. He's also almost maxed out the Arcane Supremacy. Legion does have a blink now as well, but
Dire's bottom tower is under
I actually... It's so what I like about the COD of this game is the fact that you see... Not only is the Bristle forcing Vici Gaming to literally clump up on this hero, so X-Nova's just protecting him with the ultimate, and no one's really hitting the Will-O-Wisp. Like, they don't have the great... Like, Troll's pretty decent. Legion, to be able to... If you want to use the press attack aggressively, to be able to give you bonus attack speed, but apart from that, like, they don't deal with it too well. But the thing is that, like, if Legion duels someone straight away, he doesn't have the damage, so Dire have to get on top of that hero. And the Will-O-Wisp is just a massive AoE that it's kind of protecting anyone who's dueled. I think this is a big reason why we have not seen any duel victories just yet, actually, for the Legion Commander. They've been able to do a super good job coming through. I mean, it's, you know, more importantly, it's X-Nova on this Keeper of the Light. How long do we have on Aegis as well? Alright, there we go. It's about to time out. So no more Aegis for them. VG Gaming looks like they're just going to try and trade tier 2 towers with this. Nothing really they can do apart from that.
top tower is under attack.
Storm went second item BKB. Okay.
Dire are scanning.
What do we got? Just checking out the probabilities and all that.
Tower is under attack.
Can Eurus get the farm? That's the question. He's going to go Basher next.
Fallen. Dire's top tower
I'm just worried that they don't kill Storm. Like, now through BKB you have to... I think you have to duel the Storm, but if you don't duel the Storm, then Bristle has a free fight.
tower is under attack.
And I don't even know if you kill Bristle through the duel anyway.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
This is actually a really difficult game. You see, it's hard for Vici to be able to execute these team fights unless they're able to play on the aggressive. Like, I think Nyx has to be the one scouting. Like, they need raiding powers, but you see how LGD kind of positioning. Like, they're all grouped up. They know that Vici have very good pick-off with the Nyx being able to scout out, you know, the blink on the Legion. Ember's got very good mobility as well. So raiding it, being able to take away that Nyx assassin effect with being able to kind of give you information, give the team very vital information on the positioning. And Radiant, they are going to smoke up. They're on the opposite side, so we see both teams actually just running towards the opposite sides of the map here. What's actually Chalice got? Wow, first item Abyssal Blade, huh? I mean, this is just going to kite the troll.
The flames rush forward.
What was it? Somnus? Oh, they got the chains. No more follow-up. What talent did Ori go for? He went the Searing Chains. Okay. I just wanted to see if on the Abyssal Blade. It's really interesting that he did go for it. First item. I think it's going to be a nice way to be able to kite the troll. I think that's the more important thing. Is he going BKB next? Yeah. Then they got Telescope as well. We've already been able to see the impact that X-Nova's had through these engagements, and now giving him a Telescope too. It's just going to increase that. So looks like Radiant, they want to try and take this last outer tower. Somnus and Old 11, they're going to try and siege this one down. Unfortunately, Vici looks like they're a little bit too late to the party here. They are still playing pretty aggressive here. Eurus is on the front line. They're going to try and bait the troll ward. PYW has to be careful if there's a sentry dropped in the vicinity, but it looks like he wants to go on FY. Very difficult though. He's just got this Meteor Hammer to play around with. It's going to be, you know, like Yule Scepter to be able to find kind of the initiation and get that defensive use afterwards potentially. But they do have still a really good ward in the area if Radiant want to take this engagement. You see they're baiting. The sentries drop, that's the question. Abyssal Blade forward, they find the Nyx Sass in the backline gang. Dispels it off straight away with the press attack. PYW still in trouble though, they even talk up the Frost Shield as well, but now with the BKB, Nyx is going to end up falling. Somnus, he wants to chase for more. He doesn't have a lot of mana. First he Bash as well. Somnus forced in the backline here now. Old 11 very far pushed up here. If they stack up the further, half HP, quick disarm, forces him back. Eurus hasn't used anything just yet. This could actually be a decent fight for Vici. They need to close the distance. Yang's still trying to find the jewel. It won't be successful. Another token needs it straight away. Charles gets on top of him with a couple of bashes coming through. Pops the ultimate, but the wide hole in the backline. They need to try and deal with this straight away. Somnus, he's got regen up in the manor as well, so finds the backline support. Used with the BKB bottle chance, beating into the bristleback. He's able to turn his back. It's just way too much damage. And now with the helmet coming through as well, Charles, he finds it versus Bash. They bring him down. Or is the last survivor of Vici. He's got one more remnant to utilize here. Oh no. Wow, that Bash, as soon as the Ursula turned his attention to the troll. I don't know if Storm found a regen. Yeah, I think he did. Yeah. He got a regen to be able to come back into that fight there. Or he might try and cut the wave. He's going to be late for that one, but they're going to walk up high ground. You do see how slow they push though. This is the issue with their lineup, but if they just kill everyone, then you can kind of go up afterwards and not really worry too much. But they only get a tier 3 tower when they took a fight pretty much on the triangle camp. Like, that does just show the lack of objective taking that Radiant do have right now. I mean, I don't want to put too much emphasis on it because, you know, LGD are playing incredibly well, you know, with an 11,000 lead. They have to kill X-Nova. They've got to kill the Cuddle. This man he's doing too much throughout the fights. Absolutely just ruining the fights for Dire. Putting this big ultimate in a vicinity where it makes it very difficult. It's in a choke point, so it feels really awkward for Vici to be able to maneuver kind of through these engagements. And we saw, I mean, that was almost like that. We still no duel victories on Yang. Man, this feels so rough for him.
Dire are scanning.
God damn. It's going to be very difficult for him to be able to find these duel victories now. I mean, you pick the hero to try and deal with the Bristle, but Bristol is just tanked up enough. We'll see how much farm they're going to be able to get, but I mean, in the meantime, Radiant, they are sitting firmly in control. Looks like still waiting for Roche, which will respawn in 4 seconds here. Chalice, oh no, old 11, who's gonna, yeah, there we go. There we go. They ain't gonna waste no time at all. Old 11's even gonna assault Cuirass as well. And this is a really nice item from the Bristleback here. Not only is it super strong against the troll, which is I think the one thing you're worried about this game from Vici, but it's also they were lacking some prowess to be able to take objectives. I brought up maybe the potential Desolator on like the Ursa if they were worried about their tower push. The Assault Cuirass kind of has the same effect because that minus armor is going to work on buildings. Now there's also a Hex on Storm, so still 11 and 2, 24 Bloodstone charges. What's the I think Bloodstone as well. Remember about that change we just had with the Intel not giving you spell amp anymore? I honestly think we might see a little bit more Bloodstones. Now the only reason I say that is because Bloodstone has a natural spell amplification. It's got a base spell amp, and then every charge of Bloodstone you have, that's getting increased. Hang on a second, Dire. They're gonna smoke down his 4. They don't have Eurus though. Radiant have a decent Observer. I mean, it's really good, but it's about to expire, which is the only issue. Jealous. His bait. They are so aware. Look at the positioning from LGD. They're going to go straight away, but the status resistance comes through for the ultimate. They have the ward on the high ground. It's about to expire, but now with the Bastion's Legion will end up falling. Somnus on top of the Nyx Assassin as well with the BKB isn't at any threat at all. With another zip on the back line, he'll find DY. Oh my lord. Oh, that sucks. FY is even able to get dual damage and your Legion cannot. Oh, that's a rough one. I mean, that ward almost expired. The smoke popped. It was enough for Chalice to be able to get the ultimate off. It looked like, honestly, they were aware that was going to happen. And you saw the duel lasted no time as well because the Enraged, 50% status resistance. And they've got no tier 2 towers to be able to protect the racks here. So they are a threat. Radiant, they're going to feel pretty comfortable right now. They still have Aegis on Somnus. I don't know who has the cheese. Did they actually pop the cheese that fight? Oh no, Chalice has it now. Okay. And alright. Well, they still have the Ignis as well to play around with the Cuddle. Yang's going to try and poke and prod, but it feels like Vici just have to hope that LGD dive a little bit too far. You see how they're baiting right now, but Chalice onto the back line. The Abyssal Blade BKB. They also get the Hellbit on Eurus, so that BKB is going to be useless for the Troll, and now they can just kite him as soon as he pops the Battle Trance. A long zip in from Somnus, catches out the Nyx Assassin. There will be a buyback coming through, but now with the Telekinesis stops the damage. Legion still will not be able to find the dual victory. Even FY might be able to find his second as well. Winner, winner, chicken dinner, LGD. They will force Vici to tap out of this game one. A beautiful performance from the boys over on Radiant. I mean, I feel like this game, if we want to put it in a nutshell, we can just show the Legion no dual victories and FY with two dual victories there. You know, if we really want to put it in a nutshell, that's probably some way we would try. Even X Nova has dual victory damage as well. I mean, I don't think this is down. I understand the Legion pickup. Like in the draft, I think Vici, they deal with the bristle in the draft. Like they do very well in that regard. But all of a sudden, they just flipped the switch. It felt like the positioning from X Nova was honestly perfect. Like the couple of rotations that Vici tried to make was predicted so goddamn well from the Keeper of the Light, and honestly just LGD in general. The positioning, we honestly saw almost every smoke movement from Vici got read like a book. X Nova's positioning, being able to drop the ultimate straight on top of the jewel, and I really do think Kodo is one of these heroes that, you know, we're starting to see picked up a little bit more. I think Kodo's going to have an incredible amount of value as this series continues. And you see first pick material from LGD at the moment. I think whoever has first pick next game, they're probably going to pick it up as well, or it might get banned. We'll see what's going to happen, but we're going to take a quick break, ladies and gentlemen. Game 2 of PSG.LGD up against Vici Gaming. That'll be right around the corner. Don't go anywhere. A short break until then.